Today on Santa Monica Update.
Who's protecting you to make sure your fare is fairer the next time you step into a taxi? The story coming up.
If you don't know what lawn bowling is, then stick with us. We'll see you on the green.
New hope is in sight for those living with macular degeneration. The story coming up.
We have those stories and more news from the city of Santa Monica. I'm Tamara Henry.
Santa Monica Update, your source for local news in Santa Monica. Santa Monica Update starts now.
The Consumer Protection Unit of the Santa Monica City Attorney's Office is working hard these days. They're fielding more than twice as many phone calls in comparison to last year. The calls are from residents alleging housing discrimination or lack of reasonable accommodation to disabilities by landlords. The Consumer Protection Unit, or CPU, is working to resolve these complaints with solutions that are fair and appropriate. One person called to say she had been diagnosed with a lung illness and the tenants on both sides of her were smokers. After her doctor confirmed that her illness was worsened by secondhand smoke, she wrote her landlord requesting a transfer to a newly available smoke-free unit. The landlord denied the request. When contacted, the CPU determined that the tenant's request was supported by the doctor's statement and that the request was reasonable as the landlord had a non-smoking unit available. So the Consumer Protection Unit met with the landlords and informed them of the legal requirement for reasonable accommodation. A short time later, the tenant's request to occupy the non-smoking unit was approved by the landlord. The Consumer Protection Unit of the Santa Monica City Attorney's Office will hold a housing seminar from noon to 1 p.m. on April 29th to focus on reasonable accommodation issues. For information and to sign up, go to smgov.net/departments/CPU and click on the Fair Housing Workshop link. The bridge to the Santa Monica Pier from Ocean Avenue has been reconfigured. Take a look. You'll see the pedestrian zone is protected from passing vehicles and a barrier prevents visitors from walking in the road. It's all in the interest of public safety. So y'all be careful, you hear? As part of the Ocean Park Boulevard Green Street project, bike boxes have been installed at Main Street and Lincoln Boulevard, and more bike boxes are on the way. Bike boxes allow cyclists to move to the front of the vehicle queue at a red light. They reduce the potential of collisions by allowing cyclists to position themselves in a visible location at the intersection. So what should motorists know about using a bike box? When the traffic signal is yellow or red, stop at the white line behind the bike box. Do not stop on top of the bike box. Keep it clear for cyclists to use. When the light turns green, motorists and cyclists may move through the intersection as usual, with cyclists going first. And for you cyclists, when a light is yellow or red, enter the bike box from the bike lane, being aware of traffic. Stop before the crosswalk. If you're turning left, signal and stay to the left inside the bike box. When the light is green, proceed as normal, being aware of approaching cars, and move to the right once through the intersection. So, when you see a bike box, remember that bikes get in it, cars get behind it. Surprise sweeps of Santa Monica taxis caught many cab drivers off guard. This as the city's code enforcement officers ensure that these businesses on wheels are following the rules. Santa Monica Update's Rick Boone tells us how code enforcement officers are boosting the department's efforts to give you a fair ride the next time you step into a taxi.
Okay, let me see your ID and your permit, please.
Santa Monica Code Enforcement Officer Keith Warren is one of an 8-member elite team, keeping the city's 5 major taxi companies in check, along with their fleet of drivers.
Actually, I'm looking for the cleanliness of the vehicle, making sure that the vehicle is a valid vehicle for the city of Santa Monica and they are a franchise of the city. Those items are entailing a permit for the vehicle, permit for the actual driver, the cleanliness of the vehicle inside and out.
These type of inspections once were under the police department, but now code enforcement has been handed the challenge. And even though their amount of officers may be limited, the agency says there's very few violators they miss.
Where sometimes the fares are spiked. There are a couple of different ways. I can't really divulge what our secrets are, regarding that, but there have been times that have been reported to us where fares have been spiked unjustly, and the public has been duped.
None of the companies in this story were part of that, but code enforcement officers say some of the biggest culprits can be cabs from outside city limits.
Several years ago, it was almost what we would consider a free market, where we had, I believe, in excess of 650 cabs, where they received more or less a business license to operate. But in doing so, there really wasn't any regulatory mechanism.
And code enforcement isn't about what's inside the taxi, it's also about enforcing what's on this beach.
We're going to be assisting with the police department, harbor patrol down there, and also the park rangers in the areas of Palisades Park, the beach area itself, and on the pier for vendors and unpermitted performers.
An agency streaming local government to make sure we all follow the rules to keep our city looking good. For Santa Monica Update, I'm Rick Boone reporting.
If you think someone is violating city code, contact Code Compliance at 310-458-2201. When you drive down Wilshire Boulevard and past Douglas Park, do you ever wonder what all those people dressed in white and walking on the grass are doing? They're lawn bowling, a very English game that takes skill and finesse. Reporter Gail Choice tried her hand in the sport, literally. Here's her report.
Let her rip.
All right. Oh.
Well, okay.
Come on over.
That's a start.
It was my first try at lawn bowling, and it was a lot of fun. So much so that Brian Studwell, president of the Santa Monica Lawn Bowling Club, wants you to be a part of the club, too.
We consider it a real treasure, but even though we've been here over 75 years, not many people know about us. And it's an old sport that goes back hundreds of years, rolling a bowl along a grass green. And there are lawn bowling greens all over the world.
You may be wondering why a bowl and not a simple ball.
A ball is round, but a lawn bowl is not. It's flatter on one side than the other. So that when you deliver the bowl 90 or 100 feet, as it slows down, it's going to turn. That's where the skill comes in. It's not like just throwing a round baseball.
The basic idea of the game is to get your bowls close to the white ball known as the jack. It may not seem that challenging of a game, but hold on. This highly competitive sport impacts the body, mind, and spirit.
It's for men and women, for all ages. It's one of the few sports where anybody can be competitive regardless of gender, age, or physical attribute. If you can walk and you can do a lunge like in the gym, you can lawn bowl.
I like it because Santa Monica has beautiful weather and I can play outside 4 days a week for 3 to 4 hours. It beats the sweaty gym. I love it because it's great on the core. It's great on lunging, so it's great for those thighs. And other than my dog, it's an addiction.
I love it. It's a lot of fun. It's very, it has a lot of form to it. It has more form than a tennis serve for me. There's more to work on with the release of the bowl and stuff like that. There's tons of strategy and it's really competitive.
We'll give you lessons, and once you learn the game and the rules, you can join. It's one of the least expensive games or sports that you can think of. Our annual dues for residents are only $90. That's for the whole year.
Gail Choice, Santa Monica Update.
For more information about this low-impact sport and how you can join in the fun, call 310-440-9400. Email them at info@smlbc.org or take a look at their website. It's smlbc.org. It's a disease very few people ever see coming. It can sneak up on you, and before you know it, you've lost what many people take for granted, your sight. Age-related macular degeneration is hitting too many of us too early in our lives. But as Santa Monica Update's Rick Boone tells us, there's now vital support to pull you out of the darkness.
For some of us, this is regular sight, where you can see me, you can see this police car right behind me. But for those living with macular degeneration, this is what it's like for them every single day. Part of their vision totally blocked out. I bet you can't even see my face right now.
Age-related macular degeneration.
Larry Levin's vision isn't totally gone, but It's on the way. He suffers from dry AMD, the first stage of partially losing your sight, in which every day is a blur for him and a huge adjustment to function.
Using a magnifying glass for regular reading and being careful about how I step about.
Dry age-related macular degeneration can start slowly destroying your eyes as early as age 40. If left untreated, it could advance to wet AMD into your senior years, giving you sudden partial vision loss by which blood vessels grow up through your retina and begin to leak.
They're not getting enough information about the disease.
Judith Delgado with the Macular Degeneration Partnership is now giving some hope to those living with partial darkness. MDP is holding a monthly support group in the Santa Monica Library for those living with age-related macular degeneration and for their relatives and caregivers.
So they need a place where they can get information, but also talk to other people who have the disease and see how people are coping and learn tips and tricks for how they can get through their daily life even though they're losing vision.
The support group will have guest speakers to answer medical questions and highlight any new technology that can better the lives of those living with the disease. But the main purpose is prevention, especially when so many new cases are popping up because of the family you're born into and the life you lead.
Smoking is the #1 preventable cause of it. It's very damaging, and we have also found that things like your diet, wearing sunglasses, things like getting exercise, all the sort of heart-healthy things, those can all act against the disease.
The Macular Degeneration Partnership is now on a mission to making your golden years something a little brighter. For Santa Monica Update, I'm Rick Boone reporting.
The age-related macular degeneration support group will meet the second Tuesday of every month in the community room of the Santa Monica Library. Want more info? Go to amd.org. Plans for a new Colorado Esplanade are moving right along. With Colorado Avenue planned to be one-way heading west from 4th Street to Ocean Avenue, images are being released of how a revamped Colorado Esplanade coming away from the Expo station might look. When the trains begin arriving, city estimates say up to 400 people could enter the area every 7 to 8 minutes at peak travel times. For info on this development and other upcoming projects in Santa Monica, go to the Be Excited, Be Prepared website at smgov.net/BEBP, then click on Upcoming Projects. The next time you're down on Main Street, you'll see 13 new trash containers. They're solar-powered compactors for recyclables. They're called Big Belly units because they compact the recyclables to be able to hold much more. These units reduce overflow into the street and require fewer pickups. That's a win-win. And since they're digitally connected, these units tell the city when they're full, reducing unnecessary pickups. These Big Belly trash containers save money and effort. All in all, it's a more convenient way to recycle on Main Street. How cool is that? Well, that's it for this edition of Santa Monica Update. When you're outdoors, keep your eyes moving and stay alert because your situation can change in the blink of an eye. Please be careful. I'm Tamara Henry. For all of us at City TV, thank you for watching. Check it out at the Santa Monica Public Library. More than 15 million Americans have age-related macular degeneration, AMD, and the disease will strike 200,000 more people this year. With this in mind, make your way to the library to find out not only about the disease, but also what you can do about it and vision health in general. The book Macular Degeneration informs and gives hope, as does the step-by-step book Healing the Eye the Natural Way. From the esteemed Mayo Clinic, you'll find Vision and Eye Health, which will give you the information you need to take care of your eyes and protect your eyesight. Discriminate between fact and fiction about healthy vision with the book of the same name. And set your kids' mind to rest about their first eye test with the book Having an Eye Test. For these and other books, audiobooks, downloadable books, CDs, and DVDs, Check out our online catalog at smpl.org.